Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. Today we're going to take a look at a Husqvarna 122HD45 hedge trimmer. Customer states that he knows he sucked up a piece of string and now the thing won't run right if it runs at all. So when he says he sucked up a piece of string, what he's referring to is on the bottom of the trimmer is the air intake that cools the engine. And debris, or in this case a piece of string, can get sucked up into the flywheel, the cooling fins, and sometimes get wrapped around the crankshaft. So we've got the top cover off and we have access to the flywheel. Let's just pop this thing off here and take a look at what we got going on underneath. So we're going to loosen the flywheel nut, and this nut happens to be flanged. So we leave the socket on there, tap it with a hammer, and it knocks the flywheel loose. Well, there's your string right there. Well, there's your problem. All that string wrapped around there, and it damaged the crankshaft seal. There's a super massive air leak right there, and that would certainly explain why it doesn't want to run right, if at all. So our goal here is going to be to replace that crank seal. Now, as with most repairs that you watch on this channel, before I get involved in fixing something, I want to make sure that I'm dealing with a cylinder that's clean and not scored. And in the case of this air leak, you know, this thing could have ran lean for quite a while and not known about it. Look at all that melted whatever, fishing line maybe? So we're going to inspect the cylinder and make sure that there isn't any scoring. If there is, you know, we got to talk to the customer about it. We're going to use an inspection camera. You just take a quick look inside here. Get the piston down to the bottom of the stroke, and the cylinder walls all look clean and shiny. That's a good thing. Alright, now that we know that we're going to move forward with the repair, we got to get this seal out of here. My regular seal puller, it doesn't really work in this situation. And I'm just going to pound a hole through the metal seal and then stick something in there and pry it out. Now, you know, one way you could do it is to physically drill a hole and run a sheet metal screw in there, pop it out. I don't like the idea of getting, you know, metal shavings in the bearing, so I'm not going to drill anything if I don't have to. So I'm kind of just using that scrunch for leverage. We pop the seal right out of there. Now we're finding more melted debris and parts of the seal. You know, this isn't really a great situation, but the options are what? Replace the trimmer? Pull it apart and put a crank bearing in it? No. This is going to be a quick and easy repair, and I'm sure that the customer is going to get a lot more life out of this unit. Right now I'm just swabbing out any debris, and I'm holding it upside down so that debris falls out. You know, we're going to make gravity do the work here. So now that I'm happy with the way the bearing looks as far as debris is concerned, we'll get ourselves a new seal here and get it pounded in. There, we're cleaning up a little bit of schmutz. We're blowing out leaves and debris that are sucked up underneath and actually blocking the cooling system. This should be part of your regular maintenance if you have one of these hedge trimmers. So I gave you a nice blurry shot of the part number, and we're going to get a Pittsburgh socket involved in this repair. And we're going to get some 2-cycle oil on here. I want to lubricate the area where the seal is going to push over the end of the crankshaft. I want to give the bearing a little fresh shot of oil. And then we're going to lubricate the rubber lip on the seal. And now it's just a matter of tapping the seal down into place. Goes in there pretty easy. Alright, we'll put this thing back together. Anytime you're reinstalling a flywheel, take a look at the magnet. Make sure that you're not grabbing parts off the bench and they're stuck to the magnet and then they get jammed up in the coil. So we got the keyway lined up now, and then we'll just buzz this nut back on there. I don't have a torque spec for you, but 2 light ugga-duggas I guess will work. I'm going to put a new spark plug in here. The one that we had looked a little bit carbon fouled. The gap should be set at 0.5 millimeter. And these NGK plugs, I mean, I've checked the gap on boxes and boxes of them. And I mean like 25 packs boxes. And I'd never have to adjust them. They're always set right. So I've kind of given up on checking them. If I look at it and they visually look close, I don't check them. Let's get our top cover on here and see if this thing's going to run. This sheath that I have on the cutter end, you can run the trimmer with that on there. It actually makes it a little bit safer in this situation. We're going to take a quick look at the air filter. Now this thing's in really good shape actually. I don't know how old it is, but it doesn't look like it was used very much. Air filter is just a foam block. So we'll put this together and give it a try, and if it runs, then that's all I'm going to have for you on the Husqvarna 122HD45 hedge trimmer that sucked up a piece of string. Thanks for watching. Later.